Dad's Diner, the best food in the house. Hello again, welcome back to Dad's Diner. Today we are going to be doing one of our favorite seafood dishes that the boys and I have liked for a long time. It is a marinated filet of salmon. The ingredients list for this is pretty simple. First of all, you start with the salmon. I got a nice 1 pound filet. That should be enough to feed the three of us. And we're going to top it off with some chopped vegetables. We use a yellow onion, some peppers. I like to keep my meals colorful, so I've got an orange pepper, a red pepper, sometimes I use a yellow pepper. It all tastes nice blended together along with the fish and the onion and all that. So we are going to, before we put this all in the oven, first thing we're going to do is marinate the fish for a while. So next thing we're going to do is show you how we make the marinade. The ingredients for the marinade are pretty simple. Start with vinegar, just plain old white vinegar, and we will add some soy sauce. There are several different brands of soy sauce available. I like the Kikkoman, but use whatever tastes best to you. And for some sweetness and viscosity, I use some maple syrup. Some people use molasses, that's fine. Other sweeteners are good too. I just happen to use maple syrup because we have that in the kitchen, which we use a lot for pancakes. Now, making the marinade. I'm going to show you an interesting phenomenon. This is kind of a science experiment as well as a recipe thing. I noticed this when I started mixing together this marinade. So the first thing you do is you pour in some vinegar into the bowl. How much? I don't know. I don't usually measure it. Enough to cover the piece of fish when you put it in the bowl. So I put in some vinegar. That's the start. Then I mix in the soy sauce. Now, soy sauce is more dense than the vinegar. And what you will notice is that it gathers on the bottom of the bowl. And you actually have two liquids layered together. This has nothing to do with the cooking, but it looks cool, doesn't it? And the maple syrup is denser than both of them, so you pour the maple syrup in. It's kind of harder to see because you got the brown soy sauce, but you got a third layer of the maple syrup sitting beneath the vinegar and the soy sauce. I thought it was pretty cool. So now you just take a spoon and mix them all together. And that is going to flavor and tenderize the fish for the next few hours. So you take the piece of fish and you put it scale side up in the liquid to maximize contact between the liquid and the fish flesh. And you just let that sit for, I would say a minimum of 1 hour would be good, but I usually let it sit for several hours. So it is now almost 11 a.m. and we are going to let this sit until probably about 5 or 6 p.m. So we will see you in a few hours when it's time to chop the vegetables. Alright. So now we are almost ready to put this thing together and put it in the oven. The fish has been marinating, and I chopped up our vegetables. Got 1 onion, 2 peppers, diced them up into little pieces, and put them all together in a bowl. And we will mix them up and make a nice mixture of veggies to go on top of the fish. This is a pretty large quantity. Usually I don't have quite so much, but you can't have too many veggies. This is not just a garnish, this is part of the meal. Okay, and now this is ready to go on the fish and into the oven. So now we have our fish, which is ready to go. The filet of salmon has been marinating all day, and we just take that out of the bowl and put it in the pan. The pan is double lined with foil. I have one layer down on the bottom of the pan, and then you'll see when I fold this up I have another layer to actually cover and wrap the fish when it's cooking. So then we take this mixture of vegetables, onion and peppers that we made, and we put it on top of the fish, and that's going to cook up with the fish and give it some flavor and also provide our vegetable course for the evening. So we get all the veggies on top of the fish, and then we fold up the foil to cover it all up. There's kind of more art than science here. Of course, there probably is a science if I wanted to do the math on how much foil you need to cover one piece of fish. But you wrap it up so that the fish and the vegetables are sealed in there. All right. And then, just before we finally seal it off, I like to take a little bit of the marinade, just a tablespoon or maybe a tablespoon and a half, and put it in there to keep the fish moist and flavorful. And the rest of that marinade you can discard. I have not found a use for it yet. But our fish is ready to go in the oven. Just seal up the top, and we are going to cook this for about 45 minutes at 325. I want to be careful not to overcook salmon because it gets all dry and unappetizing, but between the vegetables and the little bit of liquid in there, it should be nice and moist and well cooked in about 45 minutes, and we'll be ready for supper. Now our salmon and veggies is fully cooked, out of the oven. Surprisingly, this aluminum foil cools down really rapidly once you get out of the oven. Give it like 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes to cool down, and then it's safe to just open up the aluminum foil, and you can see your completed product. And I'm just going to take a slice of it right here, right now, live, without a net. What could possibly go wrong? Other than it kind of falling apart. But you pick it up, you put it on the plate, and there's a nice portion for your dinner. So enjoy your marinated salmon with onions and peppers, and you can trust us. This is good stuff. Let me tell you a little anecdote from my travels with my boys. A few years ago, Gabe and Seb and I went to a restaurant in Cape May, and the restaurant is called Alethia's. It's located in the Inn of Cape May, if you know Cape May. Very good place, highly recommended. They do local sourcing for most of their seafood and any other food they can get. Local vegetables come from farms in the area. And so they had a salmon dish which was kind of similar to mine, and I ordered it. And I said to the boys, I want you to have a taste of this and see how it compares to mine. And Gabe said, you win automatically. But he did try it, and you know, I'm very flattered, but this gets good reception, even compared to some of the better restaurants in New Jersey. So I hope you can make it and enjoy it just like we do.